This lesson is focused on the rule that sentences can have two subjects or two predicates. That means a sentence could have two main nouns and it could also have two main verbs. Here's your learning target. I can combine two sentences by compounding the subjects or predicates. Basically what this means is today you're going to look at two different sentences and identify whether it has identify if the subjects are the same or the predicates are the same, and combine those two sentences to create one. The word compounding just means combining. Hit pause now if you need to go get a whiteboard. We will be using a whiteboard and a marker for this lesson, but once you get it, you can just set it aside. I'll let you know when it's time to use it. If you need one, hit pause and go get a whiteboard and a marker now. Let's do some quick review before starting the new information today. Your last lesson talked about what makes a sentence. A sentence has to have a main noun that tells who or what the sentence is about, and then a main verb that tells what the subject is or what it does. In this, dog runs. Dog is the simple subject. Runs is the simple predicate. It tells who or what, and then it tells what it does. Then to make it a complete sentence, we add the article the, and of course we put a period at the end of the sentence. The dog runs. Who or what is the sentence about? Dog. What does the dog do? Runs. Let's try another one. The dog runs to the neighbor. Who or what is the sentence about? It's about dog. What does the dog do? It runs. There's our simple subject. There's our simple predicate. So what's a compound subject? That's what today's lesson is about. Compound, remember, means to combine. When two or more simple subjects share the same exact predicate, we call this a compound subject. Here's an example. The dog and man run to the neighbor. As you can see in this sentence, there are two main nouns. This sentence is about dog, and it's also about man. And they share the same verb. Both the dog and the man run to the neighbor. So this is a sentence with a compound subject. It has two simple subjects. Let's look at another one. Mrs. Swerk and her students read books. There are two main nouns in this subject, or in this sentence, excuse me. This sentence is about Mrs. Swerk, and it's also about her students. They are sharing the same verb. They're both doing the same thing, which is read. Last one. Mrs. Swerk and her students are smart. Who or what is the sentence about? It's about both Mrs. Swerk and also her students, and they're sharing the same being verb, which is are. This word are links Mrs. Swerk and her students to the word smart. Here are some examples. The ducks and geese quack. Who or what is the sentence about? Well, it's both about ducks and it's also about geese. They're sharing that same verb, quack. The ducks and people swim in the pond. Who or what is the sentence about? It's about ducks. It's also about people. And what do they both do? Swim. Last one. The fat duck and its baby paddle through the water. What is the sentence about? It's both about the duck and about the baby. And what do? They both paddle. Now you try. The police and firemen help people. I want you to think, who is this sentence about? It's about both police and both about firemen. What do they both do? There will be only one main verb. It's help. Next one. Mr. Doughton and Ms. Berg welcome the students. Who is the sentence about? There will be two simple subjects. So pick out two main nouns. Hopefully you said Mr. Doughton and also Ms. Berg. And now what do they both do? They are going to share the same main verb. They both welcome. Next one. The kids and their mother drive home. Who is the sentence about? There will be two. Kids and also mother. What do they both do? They're going to share the same main verb. Drive. Last one. All of the students and the teacher are happy. Who is the sentence about? It's both the students and also about the teacher. And what is the main verb? It's the word are. The word are links the students and the teacher to this word happy. Now let's try compound predicates. Remember, compound means to combine. There will be two simple predicates. A compound predicate is when two or more simple predicates share the same subject. So now we're going to be underlining two things in red to show that there are two predicates, and there will only be one noun underlined in green. Here's an example. Mrs. Swerk reads and studies books. Who is the sentence about? It's about Mrs. Swerk, and she's doing two things in this sentence. She reads and studies books. This one subject is doing two different actions. Here are some examples. Mrs. Swerk walks and talks. Who is the sentence about? It's about Mrs. Swerk, but she's doing two things. She's both walking and talking. Mrs. Swerk smiles and laughs with her students. There's only one main noun. The sentence is about Mrs. Swerk, but there are two things that she does. She smiles, and she also laughs with her students. The lady works hard and tries her best. Who is the sentence about? It's about lady, and there are two things that she does. She both works and tries. Notice that there are some additional words in between. You're going to want to look for those two actions. She stays late and prepares her lessons. She is the main noun. Remember, this is called a pronoun. It's a word that takes the place of a noun. What does she do? She both stays and prepares. You try. Identify the subject first. Who is the sentence about? The police help and rescue people. This sentence is about police. What do the police do? There are two actions that they do. It's help and rescue. Next one. Mr. Doughton greets the students and smiles at them. Who is the sentence about? Mr. Doughton. He does two things. He greets and he also smiles. Next one. The kids dig holes and fill them with sand. Who is the sentence about? What is the main noun? Kids. What do the kids do? They both dig and fill. Last one. All of the students sing happily and dance to the music. What is this sentence about? It's about the students. What do the students do? There are two main verbs. They sing and dance. All right. The next part of this lesson is how to write a sentence with a compound subject or a compound predicate. So look at this example. We're going to combine these two sentences to create one sentence. The girls sing songs. The boys sing songs. Notice in these two sentences, the predicate in both of them is sing songs. It's kind of silly to write these sentences one after another because they share the same predicate. These sentences can be combined. The subject in this sentence is girls, and the subject in this sentence is boys. So we can combine them to say the girls and boys sing songs. You try. You're going to need your whiteboard for this part of the lesson. Get those materials ready now. Read the sentence with me. The moon shines brightly. The star shines brightly. In these sentences, the moon is one subject and star is another subject. But in both of the sentences, the predicate is shines brightly. Right now, I want you to rewrite these sentences to make one sentence that has two simple subjects and this same predicate. Try it now. Hit pause so you can write. Hit play when you're ready to see the answer. The answer is the moon and star shine brightly. We took this simple sentence or subject and combined it with this simple subject, and they were both sharing this verb shines, so they could have the same predicate. The moon and star shine brightly. Now let's try compound predicates. Remember, a compound predicate means there are two main verbs that share the same subject. The lion roars. The lion growls. Both of these sentences are about the lion, so we only need that subject one time. But there are two actions that the lion does. He both roars and growls. So we can combine these two sentences into one by saying the lion roars and growls. You try. You'll need your whiteboard again. Joey hops, Joey jumps. Both of these sentences are about Joey. You can combine these two sentences into one by saying Joey and then the two verbs that he does. Try it now. Try combining these two sentences into one. Hit pause, hit play when you're ready to hear the answer. Because Joey both hops and jumps, the answer would be Joey hops and jumps. We combined those two verbs using the word and. It's going to get a little bit harder. Let's try a medium level one. The superhero jumps through the sky. The superhero flies through the sky. Both of these sentences are about the superhero. The two actions that he does are jumps and flies. So we can combine by saying the superhero jumps and flies through the sky. You try. Combine these two sentences into one. Hit pause. Hit play when you're ready to hear the answer. Both of these sentences are about the dad. The dad both laughs with his kids and he plays with his kids. So the answer would be the dad laughs and plays with his kids. Here's the last one. We're going to try spicy. The superhero jumps over the house. The superhero flies through the sky. This has the same subject, the superhero, and he does two things. First, he jumps over the house, and then he flies through the sky. So your combined sentence would be, The superhero jumps over the house and flies through the sky. You try. I'm going to give you a hint on this one before you hit pause. The sentence is about the soccer player. In this sentence, it uses the pronoun he. He is still referring to the soccer player. Go ahead and hit pause and try it now. The answer is that this soccer player kicks the ball and then he runs after it. So we could say the soccer player kicks the ball and runs after it. Now you decide how well you understood this lesson. Remember, the learning target was to be able to identify compound subjects and compound predicates. That means when there's two. And also to be able to write your own sentences, to look at two sentences and combine them into one. If this lesson didn't make any sense to you, I want you to let Mrs. Swerk know, let me know, and I'll work with you. If you think that you're getting it, but need a little more practice, you're going to watch 2 videos and then do your practice worksheet. If you think I can totally do this, I want you to watch the extension video called Subject and Verb Agreement and then do your practice. When you are done, you will take the Moodle quiz.